My wife's not feeling well, so it's time to break out the greatest hits.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
You are listening to The Liberal Grouch.
It's a ponderous situation.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Dave. But where are we going to find a doctor to hose at this hour?
For more than 2 years, a persistent but stupid enemy has misunderstood our desire to live as free people.
Long ago, free men stood against the tyrant. The few stood against many.
For more than 2 years, they've tried to silence those of us who believe that America is a nation of freedom for all, not just the privileged, not just for those who can afford justice. Yet, the enemy continues to misunderstand our motives.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Blaine. But there's still a bug stuck in here from last time.
They fill the blogosphere with lies and misinformation. Where can one turn for the truth?
This is where we hold them!
We will fight them.
This is where we fight!
We will struggle until the end.
Give them nothing! But take from them everything!
We are not concerned with personal comfort.
This is Sparta!
We will fight until the enemy realizes our thirst for justice cannot be quenched.
Bury your breakfast and eat hot! But tonight, we dine in hell!
We will leave the right-wing, lick-spittle mob of hypocrites dazed and confused.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Blaine. But what if the chicken won't wear the nylons?
Truth will overcome lies the way the light of day overcomes night. This I vow, for I am the Liberal Grouch. Hi there, Bill Schmalfeld here. And my wife is not feeling particularly well today. Those of you who know me and have been following me for a while know what I'm talking about, but last thing I want to do today is sit in here and holler at a microphone and possibly disturb her. She's been spending most of the day sleeping on the couch. So I'll keep an eye on her, but I do wish to have something to present to you today, and I discovered this old classic show from October 10th, 24th. Let's do that again. From October 24th, 2013. I was a guest on Ali Akbar's Blog Talk radio program, along with special guest comic R. Stacy McCain. Give it a listen. It'll give you a little bit more background of what's been going on for the last 2 years with this political battle I've been involved in. And this is my interview with one of the chief instigators. So, Sherman, set the way back for October 24th, 2013. And here we go. Hi there. This is Bill Schmalfeld, owner and operator of Lobotomy Sandwich Radio. Our primary mission here on Lobotomy Sandwich Radio is comedy, and this next 2 hours may comprise the most hilarious 2 hours I have ever spent on a radio show with someone. I'm sure the host of the show, the felon Ali Abdul Akbar, currently facing racketeering charges in addition to a defamation lawsuit, didn't intend for it to be funny. But it was hilarious, at least from my point of view. Quick background. In 2012, I learned of a 501c3 organization Akbar was running called the National Bloggers Club. I contacted him to get the bona fides that any 501c3 is required to turn over at request. I did this as an independent journalist, and this began a 17-month journey into the dystopian world of the Breitbot, the small but loud group of ultra-right-wing hate merchants who are survivors of Andrew Breitbart, not vested in ideology, but in stealing money from their stupid, sheep-like followers, true believers. Since that attempt to get this basic rudimentary information, I've been charged in criminal court by 3 individuals for a total of 18 charges, all of which were dismissed. Not long ago, Akbar and his toady employee, Stacy McCain, did a blog talk radio show in which they attempted to explain why they continue to harass the man who's suing them. While I was listening, I got up to go use the bathroom, fell, blew out a ligament in my left leg, and went to bed. I tweeted this fact, and right after that, Akbar issued a challenge for me to call his show. Kept repeating it, even though I was in bed, medicated, and asleep. Kept on repeating this challenge, calling me a coward. Well, today is Thursday, October 24th, 2013. Akbar began the taunts again, calling me a coward when he knew perfectly well that I was in bed and asleep when he made his challenge. So I tweeted back. I said, do another show, and I'll come on, and we can chat. You're about to hear the result. You'll notice that every time Akbar finds himself cornered by my questions, he puts me on mute. This is my recording from Skype, not directly from Blog Talk Radio. It's my recording, so I'm able to tell you when I'm muted, and you can tell for yourself when I'm not. So, let the fun begin. For the next 2 hours, listen as Ali Akbar and toady Stacy McCain make braying asses of themselves. Get your popcorn ready. This is some sick and funny shit.
Hello and welcome to an exciting show. This is probably going to be my most favorite show that I've done since coming back to podcasting from years and years and years ago. Today, our guest is Bill Smallfield. And all of you who are tuning in know who he is, but I better say so for the record. Bill Smallfield has been described by me and my friends as a deranged cyber stalker. I've gone further to accuse him of harassment and criminal harassment. And to be fair, I'm going to allow Bill to even introduce himself. So take this with a grain of salt. But Bill Smallfield, for the past 17 months, by my count, has tweeted some of the most horrible things that have ever been said to me.
Are you still there?
Republican. So the death threats are nothing new, and they've come from both sides of the aisle. But still, it riles me when I see some of the stuff that's brought to my attention by concerned followers. Bill Smallfield's taunting and teasing, as he described it yesterday in a series of tweets, have been examined by lawyers, law enforcement, and all kinds of other people. And the big question is whether or not these are true threats of harm, or, whether they're used as satire or as a method of harassment. And it hits all over the legal spectrum. I went further. Yesterday, I believe it was, or maybe it was the day before, I published a piece on Tumblr, which I'm kind of new to, but I thought it'd be fun, and I thought it'd be a good place to discuss trolls, because that's where all the kids are these days. I talked about taking him to court and calling law enforcement. I'm going to do whatever I can and whatever legal avenues are available to me to rectify the situation, because it's illegal. I don't think it's illegal. It's absolutely illegal, and internet harassment is still harassment. But that's who I think Bill Smallfield is. Now, we set up a couple of rules. This is namely going to be just Bill and I. He's asked he's actually demanded that there be no callers allowed. I have no intention to allow callers on, but I'm going to leave that up to my discretion. It's my show and I'm the host. I do not intend to make a fool of Bill. I think that he'll do that himself. And he has said that Robert Stacy McCain can call in, and Stacy and I talked briefly, and he has no, he was neither here nor there on the issue, so we can't allow Stacy on. But I'm definitely, going to restrict. It's where I can't think of a case where I'm going to let a caller on, but there could be. And John Hogue and I talked before the show, and he absolutely, under no circumstances, can call in, wants to call in, just to make sure that the peace order that he has against Smallfield is that. Today's show, we're going to cover and out some lies. We're going to give him a chance to repent or refute some claims that I came up with over the past half hour of just writing some show notes. And we're going to offer him a chance to trip me up if I am the lying scumbag that he says I am. I wanted to do this quickly after Bill accepted the challenge publicly because I wanted to be said that I didn't over-prepare and that trap wasn't laid. And you might ask why. Why am I doing this? Because that was the first question my new lawyer in Texas asked me. And I think it comes down to this. I can't let the terrorists win. Terrorism is assault and harassment on a grand scale, usually for geopolitical reasons. But it's still harassment. And I refuse to allow anybody, to stop me from doing what I do best. I rally the troops, I broadcast, I publish opinion, I work. And I think it's important that even though I am proceeding for now, there is probably one exception I would do to stop the legal tsunami that's going to hit Bill Smallfield. But there's short of that, I have to do this. I just have to do this. So anyway, I'm not going to unmute that person. I'm going to unmute Bill. I'm going to give him a chance to introduce himself for the audience, and we'll maybe exchange 10 seconds of pleasantries, and we'll get right to it, folks. Unmuting Bill. How are you this evening?
Mr. Akbar, can you hear me okay, first of all?
Yes, you're coming in loud and clear, and your radio voice is better than mine.
It used to be better. First of all, before we go anywhere else, man, you got to do something about that intro music.
Well, I paid for it. So.
You did? Get your money back.
Yeah. And you illegally broadcasted it, but I didn't tell the person who owns the copyright.
No, please, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell them. I mean, it does kind of drive itself into your skull like a railroad spike. But first of all, I want to dispatch with a couple of things. Let's stop this deranged cyber stalker nonsense, and let's stop it right now. Let me ask you, how many times, to your knowledge, have I been criminally charged in Howard and Carroll County, Maryland?
I have no idea.
I do, because that's what I've been living the last year. I've been charged 18 times. How many times did any of those cases make it out of the state's attorney's office? I can answer that for you, too. None. So I'm 18-0 in the criminal charges department. How many times did it take? No, you let me finish. No, you're going to let me finish. How many? You're going to
introduce yourself.
No, you're going to let me finish.
Introduce yourself. No, Bill, if you introduce yourself, I'm going to allow you plenty of time to trip me up and to make a fool of me and my cohorts online. So I'm not trying. I don't
want to make a fool out of you, Allie. That's not what I'm calling for. I want to call to set the record straight. Yourself. All right. Billy, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bill Schmalfelt. I'm 58 years old. For 14 years, I've had Parkinson's disease, and as a result, I'm retired. I And again, you will have to forgive me if I stop in the middle of a sentence because that happens. I run an internet radio station that is directed toward comedy, and it's called lobotomysandwichradio.com. And I invite your listeners to check that out at any time they'd care to, if they want. I mean, there's comedy on there from the right. There's comedy from the left. I'm just trying to shine my light, as it were. I also blog on, oh, God, I can't think of the name of the blog.
Patriot Ombudsman.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, Patriot Ombudsman. That's it. And also, like I said, my website, lobotomysandwich.com. But I take great exception to the fantasies that you and Stacy McCain have created. I've never once been contacted by either of you to verify the truth or I've never been contacted to give my side of the story. You and Stacy and others have just written whatever you want to write about me without giving me a chance to reply to it. So maybe that accounts for some of the invective that I've used over the past months. But I maintain, and then I'll let you speak, I maintain that all of this could have been avoided. All of this could have been avoided
if I would have tweeted you back.
If you would have just answered a simple question in June of 2012. And that question was, and still is, what is your employer identification number to qualify for a 501c3 for the National Bloggers Club? That was it, pal. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. Well, I think that the listeners, 90% of what Bill just said is completely accurate. He would disagree with being called a deranged cyber stalker. You could put deranged cyber stalker inside of Google, and you can read the articles. And,
why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? You can put it on. Why is that? Why is that? Because why? No. Why is it? Why
I just muted Bill. He's hearing my voice. You can't hear him. I'm going to unmute him in a second, but he said he'd give me a chance to talk, and it is my show, and I just figured I'd take that luxury, if you will. Bill is also right. He tweeted me in June, I think it was May, but he says it was June of 2012, and he and a couple of other people were involved in trying to play this gotcha game, and I just don't play it. Like I said, I'm a black Republican. I'm kind of hit to this game. And when people try to throw some stuff in your face, I don't. Later in the show, you're going to find out why exactly. I've never talked about it. I don't talk about false accusations. I'm going to tell you why I didn't answer that question, and I'm going to tell you why I know that Bill knows that he was lying. But what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to unmute Bill. We're going to see if we can get through a series of questions because he says that he wants to tell his side of the story. He says that is journalism. I disagree, but we're going to give Bill that opportunity because what Bill is doing, I think, is actually brave. He's doing what the rest of Brett Kimberlin's cronies won't do, and that's Bill uses his own name. Craig Gillette, Neil Rauhauser, and a number of other lackeys around Brett Kimberlin don't use their name because they're cowards. Bill, I don't believe, has a life, but in comparison to these other guys who revolve around Brett Kimberlin, literally, he has a life in comparison to them. But we gave him a challenge a couple of weeks ago to appear on this show, to come on this show, and to answer some questions, and that I wouldn't allow any other callers. And so I'm going to give him that same opportunity. Listener, you will know that I'll allow him a lot of leash. I'm not like my other friends. I'll allow him a lot of leash. But if he goes off, I'll mute him, and I'll unmute him, 10 to 15 seconds later. Anytime we go through these tirades, it's bound to happen because he absolutely hates me. Bill, does that sound fair? Can I get on with the list of questions, or do we have other pleasantries to just...
I don't hate you. I don't hate anybody. I really, honest to God, you don't know me. I don't hate you. I know
you. I know.
No, you don't know me. You've never met me. We've never shook hands.
I don't need to meet.
We've never looked into each
We
other's
don't need to
eyes.
shake hands.
Do I get?
Definitely never.
I thought I got to talk here now. Okay.
Well, you're supposed to answer the question.
Well, let me answer the question then. You mentioned earlier the fact that you hit up Google under deranged cyberstalker and you find my name. Let's tell the listeners why that is. It's because you... Now, you're going to let me. You're going to let me. It's because you, are Stacy McCain, and your various friends and followers have Google bombed me. I've never been convicted of cyberstalking. My mental health has
never been convicted.
No, never been convicted. I've never been. I've never been convicted of anything. And it took Hogue It took Hogue 3 times. Well, not yet. I'm not going to be. All right. It took Hogue 3 times.
I'm not going to be. Allow me the same pleasantries that you would allow yourself. I mean, that's the hilarious part of all this, Bill, is everything that you accuse everyone of, you allow this exception for yourself. And the reason my friends and I laugh is because it's just blatantly it's hypocrisy. And it's not so bad if you just admit it, but it's funny that you dance around it. But I'm going to allow you to continue, and I'm hoping that we can get to these list of questions because I don't have to meet you again.
You've never met me. You've never met me. You don't know me. You know nothing about me. You know nothing about my life experience other than what I've shared on the internet. You don't know a thing about me. You and Stacy especially claim that I have a heart full of hate. I do not hate. I mean, my ex-wife, you're her pal now and everything, and she's betrayed me in the worst possible way a man can be betrayed. But I have forgiven her, and I don't hate her. I hold her accountable for the things she says, like I hold you accountable for the things you say, like I hold myself accountable for the things I say. There's been times, now you let me finish now, please. There have been times when I was wrong and came out and admitted it. And you know that. You know that, Ali. Now, let's cut through the treacle here, and I'll let you ask me some questions. You will allow me to answer them, and then I'm going to ask you some questions, and I will allow you to answer them. All right. So start with your questioning.
Thank you, sir. And I have every intention, audience, of allowing Bill to ask some questions and answering them. Advice that I was given before the show was, don't. It's your show. It was your challenge. He's meeting your challenge.
Oh, can I interrupt for just a sec? Just take a second. You talk about me running away from your last challenge.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even going to talk about that.
It's right here on the screen. It's right here on the screen. You said that
Okay, go ahead.
You said that I fled in cowardly silence when offered a chance. That night, you offered your challenge after I tweeted that I had fallen, hurt my leg, and went to bed. I was in bed. I wasn't listening to your show when you offered the challenge, or I would have got out of bed and fucking called you.
Okay. So, folks, Bill says, and the reason I gave him an opportunity to answer is you'll see this is within my moral character. I wasn't going to bring it up on the show, but it is in the show description. If he wants to address it, I thought it would be fair. So Bill has said what he said. Again, it's another lie, because if you go look at the timestamps, you'll be able to see the difference. But one of us is lying and one of us is telling the truth. And really, that doesn't even matter to me. I just want to get to these questions that Bill's going to answer. And then I want to answer some of Bill's questions, because this is what has separated me from some other people and why this is totally not a conspiracy. I believe Bill is creative. I believe that Bill is a liberal. I believe that Bill wants his voice heard. I believe that Bill is extremely frustrated, and when he got a couple pat on the backs, he decided, well, this is an audience that I need to cultivate. He didn't, I don't believe, realize that it was a small niche audience of 4 or 5 people, and now he's on this road. And I think he said it at the beginning of this podcast, something that I believe to be absolutely true, is there's this tit for tat going on. And he is a man. and I am a man, and most of the people we're dealing with in this situation are men. We're just not going to let go until the other guy cries uncle or until two guys walk away. And so it might surprise some listeners, but I don't blame Bill for the viciousness in which I feel like he tackled this issue, or myself or my mother for that fact. But, I think it's wrong. But
mother.
Okay, let's get with the question. For 17 months without reply, short of one DM conversation between you and I, you have written to me, about me. Have you ever considered seriously getting life?
What kind of question is that? That's
my first one.
That's a rhetorical question. Have I considered getting a life? I have a life. I have a full and rich life. I blog, I do my radio show, and I exercise as much as I humanly can, given the condition of my Parkinson's disease. Who are you? Right. Who are you? And let me finish, please. I'm still answering your question. Who are you?
Well, we can't go through 5 minutes with each question, Bill. Can we?
All right. It's your show. Go.
He says he has a life, folks. You can go to his Twitter feed and read all about that.
I'm a fast typist.
And give out your Twitter feed. Give out your Twitter feed, Bill.
It is Lobotomy Radio, at Lobotomy Radio.
All right, so you guys can go over, and that's one thing I want about this show is I'm going to make accusations. Bill's going to make accusations. It's for you guys to determine what you want, because this is not a conspiracy. Okay, you have said the most vile and disgusting things about me. Usually they're sexually charged, and I just want the listeners to hear a couple of quotes that I was able to gather over the past half hour. Yeah, I'm going to read it. Quote, that I have a hairless taint. And folks, I was talking with one of my friends down in Florida, a doctor who I'm about to go see so that I can gather evidence for this case that I'm mounting. The taint is the area in between the butt and the external sexual organ. You have said that on numerous yes. You have stated on numerous occasions that I have a mouthful of bodily fluid. You have called me a cocksucker.
Saliva, don't you?
No.
You suffer from dry mouth.
Yes, said cum. But you called me a cocksucker. You called me a closeted homosexual. You have hundreds of tweets that reference my penis. You have called me an eater of shit. Are there any regrets?
Yeah. Yeah, I have lots of regrets. I regret that things got that far.
Yeah, well, I guess shame on me for letting you say that.
I'm answering your question, please. And let me ask you again to give me a little bit of leeway on how I answer, because, like I said, sometimes when I'm speaking, I just stop. And it takes me a couple seconds to get it going again. So I don't want you to think that's your opportunity to cut off my train of thought, because then I'm derailed, pal. There's just no way I'm going to get back to what I wanted to say. I just handed you a weapon to use against me if you want to. All right.
No.
Let me say that I apologize here and now for all the gross and vulgar things I have said to you and about you. It was unchristian. It was uncalled for. And it was done in a state of anger or me just trying to be a smartass. So I apologize if you were truly offended by anything I ever wrote. You should feel free to apologize for lying about me. You should feel free to apologize for saying that my children hate me. You should feel free for to apologize for calling my twin brother a retard. You should feel free for to apologize for helping my ex-wife continue to lie about me. I will await your apologies.
All right, well, can wait. Twitter, third question. Twitter has said, now this is a serious question, so you'll have a lot of time to answer this one.
Oh, goody.
And this, Twitter has said that the threats that you have made on Twitter have gone beyond what is allowed by the terms of service agreement that you agreed to, several dozen times because you have that many accounts. And you've had more than a dozen accounts suspended after human review. 2 of those because of death threats. And I don't know if you know this, Bill, and I'm not done with the question, but I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to go ahead and say this because I want you to know that I've got you caught, is when you report someone to Twitter for anything, they send you a receipt, and what that will be able to prove in the court is the reasons why you were suspended each of the times that you've been suspended, some for, 2 for death threats, others for other kinds of bullshit, that are terms of service violations, and then 1 at least for copyright. And that's just in dealing with me. Anyone else who's reported you of their own accord and has receipts, I don't know because we haven't consulted on it. But Caroli Coons, an associate of yours and a popular liberal columnist, after seeing the screenshot that I showed her, said that she didn't support it. Breitbart Unmasked, Craig Gillette, who's a pedophile, said that it went too far, which caused you to become unhinged, and that's when you left the site declaring yourself independent, which I actually thought was a good move. I didn't appreciate that they were throwing you under the bus either. So my question is, Bill, how can you not?
Oh, you lie so effortlessly. That's what I love about you, Ali. You lie so effortlessly.
Okay. Well, Bill, why,
All right, first of all, what I'd like to know from you is, how did I threaten your life?
Well,
specify the
Twitter.
death threat. No, not Twitter. Tell me what I wrote on Twitter. No, you tell me what I wrote on Twitter that threatened your life.
Right.
Word for word.
Tweets.
I want word for word.
Right. I can't provide that for you.
Well,
there are 2
then
tweets.
there's no death threat, pal.
Bill, let me answer the fucking question. Got it?
Yes.
All right, so Bill's on mute while he's laughing. I mean, this is what's going to be interesting, because the basis of my case that what I gave to a lawyer is there are several people who believe that Bill was truly, absolutely crazy, and that these can't be taken as death threats because they don't believe that he can physically harm someone or hire a third party. The cool thing about the law in dealing with death threats and harassment is it's how I perceive it. I think that Bill does want to hurt me.
No, I don't.
think that Bill has called his family and has threatened. The 2 tweets that I'm referencing, folks, the 2 tweets that I have receipts for are tweets that I took seriously. One of those in particular.
Did I lose? Okay, you're still there.
Took seriously. And because I was the recipient, I have cause to go before the law and ask for redress. Lord happens that, why haven't you already reported this? There are several other things that rose up to this bar, and I said, well, I'm a big boy. I'm supposed to be able to take this. But furthermore, you might ask yourself, listener, why am I bringing up Twitter? Why is this important? Well, this is the awesome thing. I work on the internet. I'm a digital PR guru. I read the actual terms of service that most of you guys click. And you'll read that Twitter has a legal team. What they do is they review this. When you say that this is a death threat or a threat of violence, it doesn't have to meet the bar of harassment. It has to go higher. They have the same legal standards that most courts in 50 states have, and that's that they have to believe that it is credible. And all that established, that doesn't determine it for the courts. I'm not saying I've got to slam dunk. I've got to convince a judge that I felt death threatened, which I'll be able to establish easily.
No, you won't.
And that it was credible and made by him. And so I'm going to unmute Bill, and I apologize, Bill, for not having those 2 tweets in front of me. I only had a half hour to promote to come up with the show, but I know, and you know, but that's neither here nor there. So, response: I take it you're not going to apologize for these death threats or the time you tweeted about having your family that was going to physically harm some of us for retweeting somebody who made an allegation about your brother by you calling your brother a retard.
No, I did not call my brother a retard. You did.
You called your brother a retard.
You called my brother a retard. I responded to it.
I can't believe you called your brother a retard, but
yeah, well, no, you are the one who called my brother a retard, and I responded to it. You and your little sock puppet pals all jumped in and said, "Boo, Schmofeld said he called his brother a retard," and it became part of the narrative, and it became part of the official newspeak truth of Big Brother Akbar. Now,
talk about the threat. Talk about your.
Again, I still want to know what I said that was a death threat. Now, if you will recall, Aaron Walker accused me of death threats, and John Hogue accused me of death threats. Patarico accused me of death threats for saying saying beware the Ides of March. What?
Right. And have I ever said anything about that?
No, you haven't. But
no, you're on the Ali Akbar show. So come on, buddy. The death threats, the last one that you gave. Time out. The last one that you gave that got your Fight the Right radio account suspended. The one that Twitter said, yeah, this meets the bar, and let us know if he has any other accounts. That one where you had in a body bag. That was an implied death threat. Do you not think that goes too far, Ben?
No. Because
you're a grown man. Come on. Buck up, buddy.
I should be calling you a grown man. I mean, you're a big boy. You've been in flame wars before, haven't you?
No.
I've never
been in anything.
You've never been in a flame war.
I have never gone 15 months without ever talking to somebody and then still be talking about my hairless taint or sending me pictures of me supposedly in a body bag. No, I've never been in that type of war, whatever you want to call it.
How do we feel about people who send me pictures of their son cleaning their... No. We're talking about death threats now.
Ask me after, and I'll tell you. I mean, I'm going to give you a unique opportunity to hear my opinion on my friend's actions, something I shouldn't be doing.
That's kind of all we've been hearing.
No, I just want to know. Are you okay? So apparently you don't. All right, do you suffer from dementia?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's just an easy one. All right, you said that Hogue, Aaron, and Lee deserved what quote you tweeted, troll time. Is that journalism? And I talked to an SPJ member, not Hogue, and they said that actually went beyond unethical. And so I want to know, why did they deserve troll time? I mean, that's like an open-ended question.
All right, read it to me in its entire context.
Okay, you said Hogue, Aaron, and Lee deserved, quote, troll time. I want to know, is that journalism? An SPJ member I talked to said that was beyond unethical, and I just want to know, why did they deserve troll time? It's actually an honest question.
Again, I don't know the context in which you are pulling that tweet. I mean, I've seen it, and I've seen it online. I don't remember the tweet. You have to share with me the context in which that tweet was tweeted. And I mean, you only get 140 characters. So right. Some of my tweets I see being used against me are truncated from longer, dissertations that I tend to, get with the diarrhea of the keyboard, But I would need to see that tweet in its entire context before I can comment on it.
All right. So, but do you just here now? I guess an off the question. Do Lee and Aaron and Hogue deserve troll time right now?
If those who live by the troll must suffer by the troll.
What about die by the troll? Since
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Okay. I said those who troll cannot complain about being trolled.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So a court in Carroll County determined that you are a harasser, that I could be a harasser.
Negative.
Let's say however you...
Negative.
Okay. Well, then they denied your modification motion that you put in, and you and Brett came up with the biggest legal fallacy ever.
Me and Brett.
But anyway, yes, you and Brett.
Explain that. Explain how Brett and I did that.
Okay, so Brett is asserting in his suit that I believe has been dismissed. But anyway, he has alleged that if you're a member of the SPJ, you're a journalist, and if you're not, you're not. And you joined the SPJ in an effort to make the legal case that you could actually contact Hogue and that it wasn't harassment, even though, harassment has nothing to do with what the noun you are. It's actually, a verb of what you're doing.
I know the world revolves around John Hogue, but I did not join the SPJ.
He's my mascot.
Why? Don't go getting all racial on me. I mean, come on. We're two guys. We're two guys. We're two guys.
Yeah. All right,
but the world does not. I did not join the SPJ to get Hoag's goat or anything else. I joined the SPJ because I wanted to join the SPJ. I'm also a member of the National Society of Newspaper Columnists. I also write for a small...
Did you join the SPJ before your modification motion?
No, it was after the modification motion, but one has nothing to do with the other. One has nothing to do with the other.
That's another provable lie, but the tweeters will have you, But anyway, I wanted to know not about the case. Forget that. I'm not trying to make a fool of you. But there are 4 tweets that I have counted that implying directly and indirectly accusing the judge and attorney Zoa Barnes of a sexual affair or infraction. My question is, have you no shame? And it's not rhetorical.
Well, I tell you what, when you're sitting in a court of law and you're watching the interaction between people and you see what looks like inappropriate eye contact being made, and the fact that every time I opened my mouth and tried to present my case, I got 3 words out before Zoa Barnes objected and was sustained, I wasn't even allowed to present my case, Akbar. You weren't even there. You don't know.
Well, I actually do know, and I'm gonna get some audio. But I know
you have audio? Can you send me a copy?
No, you have to purchase that. I'm not allowed to distribute it. That's against the law. But it is. Okay. I mean, that's just another
All right.
truth.
Yeah, go ahead.
But here's the thing, Bill, is and I don't know why I'm explaining this to you, but I guess I ought to because somebody needs to tell you the truth. Is the modification motion, as the judge attempted to explain to you, as Poe on his blog outlined before the hearing, weeks before the hearing, it is a hearing where you get to modify it. You don't get to retry it. And so the 49 exhibits that you were trying to enter, the 0 to 49 you are now against Hoag in that particular instance.
Actually, I had 20 exhibits.
Okay. Okay, 20. I'm sorry. The 0 to 20 that you are with Hoag with the exhibits is because you couldn't represent and retry the case. All you could do was trying to carve out that exception. And the judge, I don't know anything about the eye contact. I won't, you sound silly talking about it, but I'm not going to even address it. But what I'm telling
But you already have addressed it. You've already raised it. You've already thrown it into the soup. You can't take salt out of the soup when you put it in.
Okay. Well,
that's an old Iowa expression, by the way.
You are the Midwesterner. I'm the Southerner. All right, your dog, and we have to talk about your kids in one thing, but I want you to know that it's the only question I have about your kids prepared. Your daughter tweeted that she wished you'd stop. I want to know how that felt.
When did my daughter tweet that she wished I would stop? Because I never got a copy of that.
Okay, well, tweeters, if you will send that tweet to Bill, I'm sure he would.
Which daughter?
I don't know how to describe her because I don't want to be insulting.
Was it Trisha?
It's the BCB or whatever.
I'm sorry?
There's 2 Twitter handles that you include when you're talking about your kids.
Oh, that would be BCOT. That's my son. And
X.
The other one. Okay, so Nina said she wished I would stop.
Yeah, and she said something else that I thought I'd be civil and not quote it. I just thought it'd be civil.
I'd like to hear
You
it.
never saw that tweet?
No, never saw it.
All right, well, tweeters send that to him, and we'll just move on. McCain, now this is very important and personal, obviously, to me. McCain said he didn't live in Maryland. You stated that you knew for a fact that he did, that he was served, and this was obviously before you saw the image that they didn't want you to see, and then you saw, but then you ran with. Do you have an apology for him, or why? Okay. Does he live in Maryland?
I'm still looking into
that. Do you believe he lives in Maryland?
Have I written a story? You asked a question. Let me answer it. Have I written a story saying that he definitely lives in Maryland?
Yes.
No, I have not.
Yes, you have.
No, I have not. Post the URL of me writing a story saying that I have. No. post the URL of the story in which I definitely claim that our Stacy McCain lives in Maryland. I'm still investigating this right now. As a matter of fact, when I saw this, did I say something funny?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Did I?
But you're investigating it. We have an inside joke.
What would you call it? What would you call it when somebody gets a piece of evidence, like I got last night, like I saw from Osborne. I saw on his blog, and I said, I can't run with this until I verify it. So all day. Let me finish. All day long. I guess I don't get to talk on this show, right? I'm trying to explain what I mean by investigating, and you keep laughing at me and demeaning my skill as an investigator when I have for 30 plus years been a successful investigator. I've got awards covering my wall, Akbar, for the quality of my reporting, and until I ran into you guys, I had an impeccable reputation. His real name is Jeremy Kinsey. Look it up. Look it up.
All right.
Why? I'm asking. No, you brought it up, so I'm gonna answer your question. Jerry Fletcher, aka Jeremy Kinsey, is the owner of the Mia.net.
Stop doxing to one on my show.
No.
Right.
He doxed me. You doxed me.
That's not Christian. I haven't doxed you.
Of course not. You know, all this stuff about your daughter said this, and now his mother probably hated him. I was at that woman's side holding her hand when she died, Akbar. How do you think it feels to see people that you're involved in a flame war with insulting you for being at your mother's bedside when she dies?
Yeah, I don't have a question around that because I figured it'd be a sensitive topic for you. But so I'm going to skip it unless you really you do want me to ask something about it.
Ask away. That's what I'm here for.
No, see, Bill, let's time out on the questions. I want to describe to you one of the problems you have is you took that instead of taking that for what it was, which was an offer. You just took that as a challenge and decided that, well, now I'm going to have to, answer questions about my dead mother. And I don't think you should. No one should make you. And I, just leave her alone. Let her rest in peace. I believe that you loved your mother with all your heart. And I would challenge anyone to say anything different. So what I want to know, though, is about the Maryland. McCain says he doesn't live in Maryland. I've been to his house, and he doesn't live in Maryland.
Where does he live?
Obviously, right. I'm not telling you. I'm not doxing anybody on this radio station, including myself. Ask me where I am.
Yeah, I know. You're hiding.
I am hiding. I'm a fugitive from a lawsuit I have no knowledge of.
Unless you're down on Capstone Drive in Lynchburg, Other than that, hey, did you ever pay that traffic bill? Did you ever pay that?
No, I haven't.
Ticket? You really should. You really should.
I know. I know, and you just actually admitted to doxing me using, never mind. I'm not even going to get how that's illegal.
It's not illegal. Reporters do it all the time. Reporters do it all the time. They contact bureaus that provide public records, and they get the public records, and they use the public records. How much actual journalism training do you have?
Less than you.
I'm sorry? I didn't get your answer. Less than me?
Less than you.
Okay. Yeah. And as I recall, you have a grand total of a semester of college behind you.
No, I definitely don't. I have more, and I quit. I was sitting in my political science course.
So the register at North Tech. The register at North Tech. Okay, go ahead.
I just muted him. What's fascinating here is that Bill, who doesn't have a degree, I believe, is about to school me on not having a degree. And so, given the chance to tout my record of non-schooling, I will proudly exclaim that secondary education in America is broken. I hate it. It's one of the reasons that brought me to politics. I was sitting in my Texas political science course and watching this professor jackass, liberal, bloviate about stuff he had never done. He never spent a single cycle inside of the field. And I'm sorry about that chirping in the background, but I was dying to just get in the field or volunteer for a campaign or stuff. I'd already done phone banking and door-to-door to get on the meats of the campaigns. So I walked out and I never walked back in. I spent a semester at the University of North Texas. Before that, I spent a year at Criswell College, which is a Bible school, because I felt the calling of me was to go into a full-time pastoral ministry. And it's a longer story of why I didn't continue on that path. But what's important is, yeah, I got out. So in the meantime, what have I done? I've created at least 3 businesses. I've had over a dozen employees over the years. I've overseen design and development teams that include 20 people. I have overseen volunteers on campaigns and field teams that includes over 50 people. I've been the senior advisor to congressional campaigns. I've done a lot of losing because I'm a self-made man. I can do whatever I want and participate in whatever races, and that includes bucking the establishment. But I'm also establishment. The entire House GOP majority donated to an annual event I do in D.C. every year because I'm part of both the establishment and the anti-establishment. I exist in a world that I created by myself. And what Bill will affirm as soon as I unmute him here in 10 seconds is that he actually complimented me privately. And he said, people don't make it to where you and I made it, by being dumb and stupid. But, he's trying to, prove something that, whatever. And I'll let him finish attacking me on that point. So finish attacking me on my non-schooling.
I'm not attacking you, Akbar. I'm discussing with you. Now,
okay.
You did this all by yourself, and I credit you for it. You've as I wrote in my book, Vice and Victory, you've attained a level of success that, frankly,
influence, money, fear,
fame. Okay. How much did Karl Rove help along that way?
Yeah, that's something I definitely want to tackle. None. But
None? All right, how about Foster Freeze?
Some.
Okay, and what did you have to do for that?
The same thing that I do for all my clients. I'm an expert in my fucking field.
Yeah, I guess. You must be. How many campaigns have you been involved in that actually won?
A number of them, including the Scott Brown one.
None.
Time out. Scott Brown. What about Scott Brown? Did he not get elected?
I've never seen anything with you involved with Scott Brown. Please point me in that direction. Point me in that direction so I can write about your grand success with Scott Brown.
You're a joke, dude. But anyway,
I'm a bitch. Have I called you a name? Have I called you a name yet?
Yes.
I haven't.
You just implied that I was a cocksucker again for 2 prominent individuals who have done a great deal for the country.
I asked what your involvement
They're going to answer the question.
I asked
Maryland
what your
and
involvement with
Does
them
McCain
was.
live in Maryland? Does McCain live in Maryland?
He won't say.
No, he said that he doesn't.
Well,
he doesn't, and now you have a record proof that he doesn't live in that address. Why keep going and saying something that is so false?
Because I'm still investigating. I have not written the story on this yet. I'm still trying. You see, you ask the question, and then as I try to answer it, you jump on me.
So I'm muting Bill again because I asked a question, and that was over 10 minutes ago, and we're done with it. Bill has probably quieted down now. The question to you, Bill, as soon as I unmute you, is going to be, the video between Aaron and Brett Timberland shows that he didn't, quote, deck him like Brett Timberland claimed. Do you care to comment?
No, because I wasn't there.
Okay. All right. You said that I'd be in jail 4 times on 4 different dates inside of September and federally indicted. How did you get that story so wrong? How did you get that investigation so wrong?
Well, I didn't say what you say I said. I suggested that you might be, but I didn't make any time.
Well, you said that you heard from a source.
I said I heard from a source.
Okay.
Now, am I supposed to break my journalistic tenet and identify the source?
Yeah, if the source burns you, you actually are allowed.
No, but I don't care to, because you talk like you're out of the soup, but you're not.
All right. Can I read you? I got a listener called in, and all right, here's the link, Bill. It is Patriot Ombudsman, whatever, /3329/special report, Breitbart Unmasked explains McCain. That's the report that you did, McCain living in Maryland.
So I quoted a report from Breitbart Unmasked.
No, you actually did. But whatever. Again, I'm not here to tell you. I'm just giving you
I
the
don't write for
information
Breitbart Unmasked.
Okay, good. All right, Carl, I want to address the Karl Rove stuff. The Karl Rove stuff that you're saying is a lie.
Well, then
You've admitted it's a lie.
Then why did he claim you as intellectual property?
I'm not. You don't get to answer my questions with questions that I can't answer for someone else. I mean, come on, watch one-on-one, buddy. But Karl Rove, the stuff that you've been saying about him and I, in particular, is a lie. You actually have the DM where you admitted it, apologized privately, which I appreciated. And at the beginning of this show, you apologized. But then when you started hating me again, you promoted again.
I don't hate you.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry for using the word that you despise. You dislike me. I dislike you. I dislike you with a passion, but I don't hate you. Okay. You passionately feel a lot of things for me since you're talking about all my cock, really. So you admit you admit then that you and Karl Rove had a relationship? I've actually told you that we didn't. There's never been any evidence of it. I'm not asking if there's been any evidence. I'm asking you, did you and Karl Rove... Time out. Okay. Am I still in the timeout corner? No. Okay, I'm asking, did you... you said timeout. That usually means you're muting me so I can't make my point. Now, did you and Karl Rove have a sexual relationship? No. Did you and Foster Freeze have a sexual relationship? No. Did you have a sexual relationship with any senior GOP member or fundraiser who helped you get to where you are today? No, sir. So you deny that you've had any sexual relationships with any senior GOP officials, and that you rose the ladder. No. That you rose the ladder completely on your own skill in that one Scott Brown victory. I've actually been popular since before the Scott Brown race. It was what do we mean by popular? What do we mean by popular? I have influence. I can walk into a meeting and people know who the fuck I am. Well, yeah. I mean, but anyway, answering your question. Bill, you're in the middle of my question, and I'm just answering there so that I can finish just my question. But anyway, people who know me know that I'm a prude. Okay, I am a Southern Baptist. I love to cuss. I love to make my opponents look like fools, but I hold some Christian tenets. I'm just keeping my dick in my pants. When did lying become a Christian tenet? It's not. Then why do you do it so often? Bill, you're getting ahead of yourself, my friend. But anyway, the thing is that you've accused me of this stuff. I've said that they were lies. We privately had a DM about these being lies. You apologized, which I appreciated at the time. And you going back over it actually constitutes libel. So my question is, why libel me if supposedly the truth about me, that I'm this horrible scam artist, that I'm running this RICO racketeering scheme against you, if the truth is so bad about me, I just want to know why make up stuff where there's no evidence? You're an investigative journalist, Ted. Do you have a 501c3? Did you just literally answer my question? I just asked you if you have a 501c3. Are you an anal rapist? No. Are you? I do not have a 501c3 that's determined by the IRS. Why did you claim you had a 501c3? All right, well, I got to put him in the timeout corner again, folks. It doesn't matter how many times I answer his questions. There's going to be a follow-up. There's going to be a retelling because he is shocked. And this is the amazing thing. He is shocked by the truth. Some thousands that, me, who he called smart, who he called successful, could be smart, could be successful without sleeping with people. I mean, it's funny, and it's also disgusting, but more importantly, it's libel. And,
no, it's not.
That's something I have to prove in court.
You're a public figure. You're a public figure.
He's committed
You're a public
libel.
figure.
I'm going to ask him the question again. Unmuted. If the truth, Bill, is so bad about me, I just want to know, if I'm this scam artist, if I'm this person who runs around scamming people, if I am this person who does all these things, why, and I know why and you know why, but I want you to confess why bring up this Rove stuff? Why bring up this foster free stuff? Anyone I've ever taken a picture with, I took a picture with David Koch, and we had an excellent private meeting, and I did that so that you would make the foolishness.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that you ought to file this under comedy.
But I'm a nobody, muted, with no followers and no listeners.
Oh, there we go.
I'm against free
quotes. We're taking quotes out of context. Very good. That's your style, buddy. That's your style. You take quotes out of context and use them as if they came down from Mount Zion under Moses' arm.
I'm a Christian. I'm not even.
If you're a Christian, I'm a donkey.
You are a jackass.
No, you're not a Christian. You're not a Christian.
Time out. It's a logical question. If I am supposedly so bad, why use the libel stuff against me? It's one that everybody's waiting for you to answer.
What do you think? Again, pardon me. Libelous. I don't think I've said anything libelous about you.
Okay, then why bring up sexual stuff?
For one thing, you're a public figure. Yes. And for another thing, if you say you haven't, okay, that's fine. Karl Rove sure acted weird about it when Greta Van Susteren, he thought she was
acting weird. Investigative journalism.
Am I done yet? Am I done? Did I finish my question?
You got 20 seconds.
Oh, I have 20 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, I'm counting.
And then I got to let Stacy on.
Oh, Stacy's joining us. Oh, he's my pal. Bring him in.
All right. Stacy McCain, welcome to the Ali Akbar Show. You're the editor-in-chief of ViralLead.com and the lead columnist over at theothermccain.com. Stacy.
Yeah.
It just gets funnier and funnier as we go
you
along.
You hear this sick freak laughing at his own perversity? Have you no shame, Bill Smallfelt, to go in there and accuse without any evidence whatsoever? To accuse Karl Rove of having gay relationships with people?
Oh, I have no evidence.
What role is that funny?
I have no evidence.
Sick freak?
I have no evidence, is what you just said, right? I have no evidence? Is that what you just said? I have no evidence.
Where is the evidence?
There's a picture.
Where is this evidence?
I've posted it, McCain, you screeching liar.
Show it to me.
Again?
What is the evidence?
The evidence is Karl Rove claiming that Ali Akbar is his intellectual property. The evidence is that
How does that imply? No, you don't. Welcome to the Ali Akbar Show, goddammit. You said that you're saying that a copyright, because you mentioned Karl Rove on your stupid cafe press or whatever it is, Zazzle, because you mentioned him and everything else, that you believe that there's been a sexual relationship with him and anybody else? How does that prove that? Link that for us, because we're all dumbfounded.
Do I get to actually explain it?
Yes. You got 45 seconds by yourself.
Oh, I get it. No. If you're going to time me, then, I'm not
You got
interested.
30 minutes by yourself. You got 30 minutes by yourself.
Oh, 30 minutes by myself? Starting to sound like my love life. Anyway, Oh shit. Anyway, let me gather my thoughts here. The
Yes,
photo
sir.
the photo I used was of you wearing a Barack Obama mask, waving $20 bills in somebody's face. Okay? The shot, as one can determine from the angle of the flash, was taken from below and in front and very close to the person.
Nope.
Oh, it wasn't. So,
No.
Okay, all right. You say you deny it. Fine. That's fine. You deny
Can
it.
I tell you what it was taken with? Can I tell you what it was taken with?
Sure.
All right. It was taken with, drum roll please, a MacBook Pro. And as you know, inside of iPhoto, because you have an iMac, the photo flips.
Right.
What's funny is I actually read your article. You said that it looks like it was taken at a hotel room, which is funny. That was my Texas apartment. You said,
Was Carl visiting?
I do decorate myself.
Was Carl
No,
visiting at the time?
Nobody was visiting.
Okay,
Nobody was visiting.
then why did Carl Rove? Then why did Carl Rove claim that photo as his intellectual property?
I'm not Carl Rove, you psychopath.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I mean, and what's funny is to say that the flash looks like it was taken from behind, but that's what's funny.
No, I didn't say it was taken from behind. I didn't say it was taken from behind.
I'm sorry.
I said
underneath,
from very close and up front.
Yeah, and you were
What about
implying
belt
that I
buckle
was getting a blowjob. No, what you implied, Bill, and I'll let you respond. First, I want to get Miss King.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will. This is what's funny, Bill. This is the real funny.
You're hilarious.
Here's the real funny. Thank you. But the real funny part is that you actually believe this stuff. You actually believe that when presented with evidence to your ridiculous fantasy, that we are the jokers. That's the
What
part
evidence?
of it.
What evidence are you talking about?
The evidence that you
Bill, stop for a minute. Bill, did you
Mr.
seriously believe this
Yes.
when you published this?
Yes.
Well, okay, you just completely discredited yourself.
Oh, no, you've discredited me. You've discredited me. That's your job. Akbar tells you go discredit Schmalfelt, and you write up a happy little 5,000-word blog about what a deranged you asshole. And that's not you, Akbar. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your pet McCain there. Living from smoke to smoke, being assigned hack job writing.
Wow.
When was the last time you wrote a news story, McCain? I remember you being a journalist once. I remember you being a journalist
the American
once.
Spectator has a 2,500.
I wrote
Bill,
something for Weekly World News once.
Well, Bill, I'm going to let you. I'm going to scrap the rest of my questions. I'm actually about to give the floor over to you to ask me some questions. But I want McCain, who full disclosure, is my friend.
He's also your employee.
No,
Yes,
we're
he
partners.
is. He is your employee.
No, he's not.
Yes, he
McCain,
is. He works at your pleasure as editor of
No,
Viral.
he doesn't.
Oh,
No.
okay. All right. So
Bill,
if I come up with proof that you are paying our Stacy McCain, you deny that relationship. You
if you come up with proof that I only Akbar
deny that our Stacy McCain is your employee.
Muted.
I just want to hear you.
Time out. I just put everybody on mute. This is very, very important. And representing Bill Smallfield with an opportunity he's begged for, and you can see that he's filibustering the opportunity he begged for. I'm going to allow McCain, totally unprompted, to describe his editorial process at The Other McCain and ViralRead.com. And you, the listener, can determine how involved I am or not. Now, McCain is my partner. I happen to be the publisher to ViralRead.com. He's the editor-in-chief of ViralRead.com.
I'm muted
and this
right
is the
now
funny part. This
for
is
the
the part
recording
that
here.
really
The recording that you're going to be hearing on.
If Bill Smallfield was a journalist, which I believe he is, or if he even fucking watched a show of journalism, he would learn the true relationship between publisher and editor-in-chief. And I'll tell you folks where it doesn't start. You write this, boy. The editor-in-chief at every magazine of every political enjoys to their pleasure and their satisfaction the content that goes inside of a magazine. The publisher is there. Well, I'll let the journalist describe what a publisher does, but I'm going to unmute them both. And McCain, please describe for Bill the relationship and the editorial process that happens at both theothermccain.com and BioRead.com so that he has the facts.
And do it right, otherwise you're fired.
Would you shut up, you sick freak?
Would you just go ahead and spin your lie? You've been given your orders. Go ahead.
Can you mute him? I mean, you know, this is ridiculous. What happened was,
I'm talking to my listeners right now. This is what I knew was going to happen, is that I was going to be on this show and that I was going to be muted and not allowed to tell my side of the story. So I'm talking right now for the benefit of my lobotomy sandwich
asked me to come on board as editor-in-chief. He had recruited a team of, and all is to put the site up and spend money and pay the bills, and my job was to produce content and to direct others and encourage others in their production of content. It was a very interesting project. It still is. Right now, we're kind of on Viral Read, we're kind of in a transition mode. But the thing is that during the Boston bombing, which was in April, we were just knocking the tops off our projections just with constant coverage and updating constantly. And the idea that Ali is telling me what to publish or not publish on the other McCain, it's absurd. What happened was that in exchange for, I think, 8% of Ali's corporation, we agreed to this arrangement, and either of us can terminate it at will. It's a handshake agreement, and the idea that Ali is saying, Stacy, that I told you to write Free Kate when I have publicly chastised you on that story at first. Well, that's a perfect example. Is that in May when the Free Kate story broke, I was like, okay, I knew that Ali didn't want that kind of material. The story was developing, didn't want that on Viral Read, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to just do this on my blog, because I felt it was an important story, and I dug down on that story for 8 days, 9 days, without taking a breath, really. Yeah. And all operating committee meetings. Yes. Go ahead. I'm going to unmute Bill so he can apologize to you for saying what he said about you being my slave. Go ahead, Bill.
No. He's your toady boy. I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention anyway. I'm reading this email I just got from Leroy Snyder.
Who is Leroy Snyder?
You know who Leroy Snyder is.
Who is Jerry Fletcher?
You know who Jerry Fletcher is. Jeremy, what's his name?
But you want it all, Doug. Why do you want it all from Doug? And does that include to the shaft?
You guys are just the biggest fucking nuts.
Who is Leroy Snyder?
I can't believe you don't know who Leroy Snyder is. Your wife works for him.
You're crazy, Bill.
Your wife doesn't work for Leroy Snyder?
I don't know who a Leroy Snyder is.
The principal of the Highland View Academy?
Why are you?
I'm muted.
Unmuted.
Talking about my wife.
I'm not talking about your wife.
Look,
you are talking about. Why are you talking about my wife?
I'm not talking about your wife.
Stop talking about my wife, Bill.
I'm not talking about your wife. I'm not talking
Stacey,
about your wife.
I'm going to let him ask me some questions. Do you want to hang around or should we let you go?
Let me go.
Yeah, good. Get out of here.
Well,
you're stinking up the place.
I know. Somebody's got to.
You're stinking up the
somebody's
place.
Somebody's got to put up with the cycle.
With your fear sweat.
Well, he dropped. But Bill, your turn to ask me.
Oh, do I get to ask some questions now? All right. Well, again, McCain took this email from Leroy Snyder and said, "I'm talking about his wife." No, you're going to let me talk now, right?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm not going to let you talk about Luann. I'm not going to let you talk about Luann. I'm not going to let you talk. Come out. You're not going to talk about my mother. You're not going to talk about it. You can berate me. You can berate Hogue, Aaron, and McCain, and you can ask some questions that you've been dying to ask, and I'll answer them. And the listeners can determine what the truth is. And I really would like a of you because we've actually given you information that we have never given you before. That you could claim ignorance up until this point, but what you've established on this show, and my lawyer told me something today. Let me read you, and then it's all yours. My lawyer said, hold on, let me find what I wrote this down so that I wouldn't misquote. The lawyer said, "Ollie, you don't need to win." Yeah, it said, "Ollie, you don't need to win. Save it for court, but you can demonstrate the errors, and this can be used as evidence." So you've not retracted anything yet. I'm going to mute you if you talk about anybody I consider an innocent. Period. Okay? Go ahead. Bill Smallfield of Elkridge, Maryland.
Oh, my
deranged
God.
Cyberstalker.
Deranged cyberstalker, right. I'm the deranged cyberstalker. You clowns go on all day long on Twitter with your various sock puppets claiming this about me, claiming that about me. While I try to run my little radio station and write for Digital Journal, you guys are all spending all day long telling lies about me. Let's talk about your Tumblr story, okay? It says here, Bill Schmalfeld has libeled me. He has slandered me. He has harassed my family. When did I harass your family?
Okay. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to answer Mr. Schmalfeld about how you've harassed my family.
You're very welcome, Mr. Akbar. I'm pleased that you've taken this opportunity to answer that question.
Thank you. The post, which I tried to keep concise, and I tried not to characterize you how I characterize you on my Twitter because I wanted people. I have screenshotted evidence of what you said about my mother. You implied that she was horrible, and it was funny because you didn't. When you copy and pasted that onto your site, you left out all the screenshots, and then you end your post, which was hilarious, as he gives no evidence for this. There's my answer.
I never called your mother a whore. I asked how she kept food on the table.
Will you read the tweet for the audience of what you said?
I don't have it in front of me. You just said that I libeled you and slandered your family, okay? I've harassed your family.
It's on the post. It's on the post that you're...
We're getting there.
Just read it.
We're getting there, okay? Relax. Take your blood pressure medication. You'll be fine. I've also harassed your clients. Which of your clients did I harass?
All right. During Blog Bash this year, you and Brett Kimberlin, in a systematic and coordinated criminal conspiracy, decided to spread lies.
Me and Brett, we get together every day. Oh, you're hilarious. Go on. You said that I slandered and harassed your clients. Go.
All right. Let me talk about one client in particular.
Answer the question. You say I harassed your clients.
Go. Bill, calm down.
Go.
Bill, calm down.
Go.
Bill, calm down.
Go.
Calm down.
Go.
Okay. Okay, Jesus, have mercy on our souls. But anyway, one client in particular has really been disgusted with Action Fund. Sean McCutcheon, for example, who is a Blog Bash donor and a former client of mine, who has been emailed by you, just like my nonprofit attorney was emailed by you.
I've never emailed Sean McCutcheon.
Yes.
I've never emailed Sean McCutcheon.
Bill, then someone is using your name, and I regret that. What's interesting is what I'm saying is Blog Bash is a project of mine that's done every year. We had 55 sponsors last year. This year, we had 80 because you promoted what you were calling blog trash.
I didn't call it blog trash. I called it blog bash. I'm not Brett Kimberlin.
No. I'm telling you what Brett Kimberlin did.
Well,
okay?
Wait. I'm not allowed to talk to you about what other people. I'm not allowed to talk to you about what other people said, but you're allowed to talk to me about what Brett Kimberlin said? Is that the deal here now?
Sure.
We have a different set of rules here for the host and the caller.
Akbar show.
Yeah, so you get to break your own rules.
No.
Yes, exactly what you're doing. You're said that I cannot talk about things that you are not involved with or people.
You're filibustering yourself.
Am I allowed to ask the question? All right.
Muted.
Also,
muted.
I'm muted again there, gentle listeners.
Akbar
can't answer the question. Akbar can't answer the question, so I've been muted.
How he harassed my clients. I'm just answering how I perceived he harassed my clients. I don't see anything wrong with me answering the question. Unlike his answers, I actually have periods at the end of my sentence, and I'm eager to hear his next. I want an open and transparent conversation, and I don't think that he should resist getting the answer. You have to ask yourself, why would he be filibustering answers to his own question? But anyway, so Brett Kimberlin said that there was going to be this large Muslim protest outside of this, and this was tweeted out, and the same narrative was carried by accounts that Bill Smallfield controlled both under his name and not under his name.
When did Brett?
Systematically, all of the donors from last year were contacted. They were all emailed and they were all phone called.
By who?
Some of it was by Bill Smallfield. Some of it by Brett Kimberlin.
No, I never contacted.
And some of it by someone who's not associated with either of them.
Nope.
And so I'm not blaming any action.
Nope. I've never contacted any of your blog back members.
His baseless accusations. The venue was threatened.
Nope.
They were told not to do business with us. And through that all, we persevered. We raised more money than ever. We got more sponsors than ever. It was the best blog bash ever.
How much money did you raise?
But it was only through the perseverance and my 18-hour days. I'm unmuting him so that he can hopefully ask me another question.
How much money did you raise?
None of your goddamn business.
You just brought it up. You said you raised more money this year than you did the year before. You threw it into the soup, pal. How much money did you raise this year, and how much money did you raise the year before? Prove what you just said.
Bill.
How much money did you raise this year compared to how much you raised last year? If you can't answer that, fine. We'll move on. You say that I've harassed your clients and your childhood friends. I don't even know any of your childhood friends.
Bill, have you ever sent a tweet to Devin Wills or an email?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because Devin...
Not that was anything but respectful. I only write respectful things.
Devin has emails from me. Devin has emails from me.
I'm on timeout again.
Not going to mute.
I'm on timeout because I've been bad. I haven't answered Ali's questions the way he likes them answered.
Now, can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why, thank you. You say I perceive you as my enemy. I have no enemies. You're not my enemy.
Okay.
I don't hate you.
Good.
I have nothing but Christian love for you, and I hope that you find your way before it's too late. Now, you bring up again that I've contacted all these people that I've never contacted, and that Brett Kimberlin contacted all these people that Brett Kimberlin says he has never contacted. You present all these falsehoods as if they were true. You have nothing to back any of that up.
Can I read the part about Brett Kimberlin real quick since it's only 2 sentences?
You said this was my turn.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And then it says, you have supported bloggers and journalists who have written about convicted bomber Brett Kimberlin. Yeah, you did that. You've done it by issuing press releases when bloggers have been trapped in court. I recall a couple of press releases, okay, where Kimberlin's attempts to suppress their free speech rights and by raising relief funds. All right. Again, I'm not here to defend Brett Kimberlin. He's going to do a fine job of that himself. Did I say something funny again? Because it didn't land on my ear as funny.
All right, go ahead. All
right. I called your mother, someone who raised 3 boys all on her own while going to school at working full-time, a whore. No, I didn't. You know I didn't.
Can I read the tweet?
Yeah, please do. Quote me saying that your mother is a whore.
This is what he said. About La Familia de Akbar. Where's Daddy? What did Mommy have to do to keep food on the table?
Did she have to work? Did she have to get a second job? What did she do? That's all I asked. It says nothing about whore. Anything that you insinuate about whore is a product of your mind, my friend, not mine. Okay, so we've dealt with that. The National Bloggers Club is your way of giving back. What do people actually get for their membership in the National Bloggers Club? No. What do people actually get for their membership in the National Bloggers Club?
Okay, I'll answer that question, and I want to preface on the last one, folks. He posted a blog in response to mine in which he said, "Now begins the investigation of everything Ollie holds dear: his family, his friends, his clients, blah blah blah." And then he went on to post another post, I believe it was the following day, what Ollie Akbar Mama said, because now he's doxing my mother. My mother, incidentally, finds all of this hilarious, and she said, "Well, just give him my number." And I said, "Mom, you don't know what this class of psycho is."
I've got your mother's number. I've got your mother's number. It's on the internet. I have no reason to call her. She says she raised 3 successful, strong sons. No, she raised 3 successful, strong sons. One of whom is a felon. The other got busted.
I'm a felon.
Yeah, you're a felon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So what's successful about being a felon?
What's successful about me?
No, that's not what I asked. I said,
okay.
You're going to answer what I ask. How does a mother say that she successfully raised 3 strong, successful sons when one of those sons has a felony beef on his record, the other has a petty theft beef on his record? There's a photo of him online having himself a big old spliff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but come on. Let's.
My brother smokes pot.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest about it. Let's be honest about it. I haven't harassed your family any more than you've harassed mine.
God damn. Shh. Calm down, Bill. I'm answering your question about why my mom would say such a thing. You say that you're not attacking my mom, and you want me to answer a question that is posed to her, so I'll answer it.
How was that pumpkin spice coffee?
My mother. Time out. Fuck up. I'm talking about my mom.
And then you filled up on worship music to ready your spirit for what promises to be emotionally draining day.
My mother is a saint of a woman. I will never, in all of my life, be able to accomplish, forget her sainthood, I will never be able to accomplish the things that she has in her life. She left her home with $20 in her pocket.
Yeah, but my mom's ashamed of me, is what you said.
I'm trying to think about how deep I want to go into this.
You said my mom is ashamed of me.
She served our great country inside of the Army.
My mother is ashamed of me.
She graduated from Seattle University with a bachelor's inside of psychology. She did this while raising 3 boys. She did this while working full time. I don't know where she got the energy to sleep or cook for us, but she did what she could. Then she went to law school. We went to Texas. She couldn't go to the law school she wanted to because me and my brothers were boys. We liked to break things in the house like lamps, and we were just rebellious. So the full ride that she was offered inside of Miami, she didn't take. Instead, she went to Texas Wesleyan, which is now an Aggie school, and she graduated from there. She's well-respected inside of Dallas County. She is passionate about family law because she got out of an abusive relationship with my stepfather. Nothing, not a goddamn thing that any of my sins or my brother's sins is a reflection on what she did raising us. Because guess what? I made some mistakes when I was 20, but that certainly wasn't under her roof. In fact, the reason I was making those mistakes, folks, is I wasn't talking to any of my regular friends. I wasn't even talking to my mom for a year. I was being a rebellious kid because otherwise I had a pretty boring-ass personality. I was too busy helping mom raise the kids. My mom is a godly woman. My mom is a saintly woman. She is a writer. She is fascinating. She objectively has accomplished more than I will in my lifetime. And that's if I'm super successful inside of politics. So Bill, there's the answer to your question, why my mother would say that she successfully raised 3 boys, through adversity.
Why didn't you tell your donors at first about your felony conviction?
Are you going to apologize for what you said about my mother?
No,
and then I'll answer the felony
I didn't call your mother a whore. I said, why did you not tell your donors?
This was fascinating. There are more people listening to this show right now than typically watch Stacy McCain's retweets of your stupid ass. And this is the fascinating part of why I'm doing the show with you, is because sunlight, baby, is the best disinfectant.
So
and
why won't
you
you
are
answer
spraying
the
the
questions?
hell out of your roach ass stuff. Why didn't I disclose a felony to my clients that I have on my record? Because it was just non-germane. It had no bearing.
You're
guess what?
stealing.
I didn't answer the question. No. Saw that.
Different rules.
Literally did not let me get 9 seconds into an answer. Forget the period. I wasn't allowed to find the comma. So he's on mute while I get to answer the question. I have a felony conviction on my record. A lot of people knew about it. A lot of people didn't know about it. Everybody knows about it now. It has affected some relationships with clients. It's not affected some with others. Some people doubled down on their donation this year to Blog Bash because of the hell that I was going through. I mean, you can read anything about it. I've answered any friends have had about it. I believe in the redemption of a person, and it was not my lifestyle. I have no apologies to make to absolutely anybody. I run a company, like I said, I've had over a dozen employees in my employment since 2006.
Including Stacy McCain.
So I am accountable to myself. I own my own company. I signed the front and the back of my check.
Very good conversation we're having with me on mute the whole time.
By ethics, disclose that to you. It's usually your employer and your wife. Maybe your priest. That's it. And my clients that you told about, okay, so what? Was it violence? No. Was it drugs? No. Okay, well, let's move on. And I'm a damn good digital strategist, and you can hire me. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did you unmute me yet? Because I've been enjoying your soliloquy.
I answered your question, and it's not my fault that you're bothered by it.
No, yeah, you ran off a bunch of word salad in a real. That's about it. That's about it. That's what you did. But anyway, okay. You don't think that a client giving you his credit card number deserves to know that you were convicted of breaking into a guy's truck and stealing his debit card and using it?
One, that's not what I was convicted of, but that's
yes, it is what you were convicted of. Yeah, I'll be glad to read the papers to you. Your conviction. Your conviction was a combination of charges.
Time out.
See,
all right. You know what? I get to
see what it's like.
I'm going to mute.
See what it's like.
Bill,
see what
calm
it's
down.
like.
Calm down. Calm down.
I'm talking to my listeners right now. I'm talking to my listeners right now.
You are a journalist.
Yeah,
and you will know how to put this into the following question. So be skillful and outmove the felon, evil, Republican, sexually deviant Ali Akbar.
Right,
so let me answer your question.
Take as much time as you need, counselor.
Thank you, sir. All right. One client in the past 2 years has given me the credit card number and said, run up whatever bills that you need to win this.
Did you have him institutionalized?
Time out. No, time out. We won. We won both races that we were involved in, and I served the strategist for that
Heavens.
So, okay. Anyway. Most people process.
All right, you're claiming we're done with that question.
Jesus, I got to mute him. And if he does this one more time, I'm going to take the time back. I don't think he deserves 45 or 65%
I don't deserve to ask him the questions that he doesn't want to answer.
But what's important, folks, is that my clients pay how I like them to pay. And that's via check. You know why? Because I get to keep 100% of that. I don't have to pay a processing fee through Rally, through PayPal, or any other payment processing.
Any other honest bank. Any other honest means.
The bank, even with my felony conviction, thinks that I should be allows me to process credit cards, but I choose not to. I choose to do it to a third party because And I don't need credit card numbers, rolling around on papers while I'm flying over the country. So there's the answer to Bill's question.
Unmuted.
Again, I'm unmuting him, but if he does this again, I'm going to go back to the question asking, and he's going to go back to the answering. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I got a lot more questions for you. I mean, we're just getting started here.
You've already asked more than I've asked.
No, when your conviction was finally revealed to your followers, why did you lie about the conditions under which you were arrested and convicted?
Type in, folks, go to Facebook. You can search for Ali A. Akbar, find my fan page, or you can just Google Ali Akbar and go Brett Kimberlin and my mother. If you use all of those search terms, you'll find out how I describe what happened. And you can also find any other account because they're all over, my mug shots and everything. If you just type in Ali Akbar felon, Ali Akbar crime into your Google search engine, and you, the listeners, can weigh, and see if there's any, gap between what they're saying and what I'm saying or reacting.
All right. The reality is you were convicted of breaking into a guy's. I'm asking the question. I'm asking the question.
I'm going to ask Bill a series of questions. I'm going to reclaim my show. I've given him over 30 minutes to ask questions. He's actually asked more questions than I have, so at least by my count. He needs to fact check me, of course. But I'm going to go back because I had still a page left of questions, and the page for me is only 4 questions. So I hope that he'll answer them. I hope he'll do the right thing. But again, he hasn't apologized for anything he said about my mother, any of the factual inaccuracies that he said about my relationships with other people. I've allowed him to say absolutely the most vile things on this podcast. And again, it's because I believe in civility, and I believe that you cannot let terrorists win. Political terrorism, internet terrorism, and obviously jihad. But I just don't think that you let them win. You don't sit silent on the sidelines. You don't stop your behavior. And I'm really thankful for the friendship that many of you guys have given me. But I'm going to use you, Bill, and I'm going to ask you a question. What are your thoughts? Do you think my donors are stupid for donating to Blog Bash? And how can you explain how Blog Bash was so successful under so much pressure this year?
I don't know that it was successful because you won't tell me how much you raised.
Okay. All right. So my lawyer tells me, my nonprofit lawyer inside of Texas told me, and he told me this last year, and I've never made it public until now, that he had 19 calls and voicemails from you, and he described you as crazy. And let me say this. I said, is it from a Bill Smallfield or Kimberlin? He said, I think it was Bill Smallfield. It was crazy, Ollie. And the questions that you asked him would have gotten him disbarred if he answered any of them because, as you know, if you were an investigative journalist, attorneys have a fiduciary duty to their clients to, only talk to them about their stuff unless their client talks about it. So why 19? Why not 20 or why not 18?
How about 2?
Okay. So the lawyer's a liar.
No, you're a liar. I called your lawyer twice, and both of them were do I get to finish? Both of them were at the very early stages of our quote-unquote relationship and friendship, Mr. Akbar. I wanted to know if he was the lawyer who signed your incorporation papers, and I wanted to know if he could reveal your EIN. If you'll recall, you are the one who told me to contact your lawyer. You didn't give me any, may I go on?
Legal at blogbash.org. You never emailed it, buddy. Go ahead.
You never gave me legal at blogbash. All you said,
I did.
No, you didn't. I've got the tweet. All you said was, if you have any questions, further questions, ask my lawyer. End of tweet. I had to find out who your lawyer was through your incorporation papers, and then when I found him, I left him 2 voicemails. 2. And he, no. I asked him if he was the lawyer who signed your incorporation papers, and I asked, and then I asked if he could provide your EIN number since you wouldn't provide it. End of story.
All right, Bill, can you describe Brett Kimberlin's work?
I don't go to work with him. And
I know, but how would you describe his work?
I'm not here to talk about it. I'm not here to talk about Brett Kimberlin. I'm here to talk about me.
All right. So Bill Smallfield has no comment on Brett Kimberlin's work.
No, I do have a comment about it. His work is his work, and my work is my work.
On your Twitter, you said you called it social justice and good work. Do you stand by those words?
I believe that Velvet Revolution and Justice Through Music are very worthwhile organizations.
Okay. What do you think about the bombings he did in Speedway?
Reprehensible.
Uh-huh. Do you find it reprehensible that he has not repented of them ever?
I don't know. I don't know for a fact that he hasn't. I can't crawl into his head and know whether or not he's asked God to forgive him. You're the one who just a few moments ago said that you're a big believer in redemption. Does that count for everybody but Kimberlin?
No, that includes Brett Kimberlin. God save his soul.
God save your soul. God save your soul. God save my soul. We are all sinners and fall short of the glory of God.
Time out. Bill. Does it bother you that you, when presented with somebody's either testimony or fact or evidence, whatever you want to call it, that you ask them to rebut it, and then when you present that, you say that they need to disprove it? And does it bother you that you ask irrelevant questions of what, again, you call your enemies, but these relevant questions about simple things that have nothing to do with anything, Brett Kimberlin's current work, that you can't answer? Really, honestly to God, this is the one thing that I think is messed up inside of your brain. I think you're super creative, super awesome radio voice, that if you had stuck actually with the right brand, that was actually a winning brand. I don't understand why you got off of that. I mean, MFA, is making a shit ton of money, doing the same concept, and you've got more time on your hands. So I don't understand why you didn't stick with that concept. But does it bother you that everyone else who is evil needs this other, burden of proof to clear themselves with you? Is it because they're evil, or is it because we're liars, or what is it, that you're alleging that we are, that we have a different standard than you do?
Well, through the years of experience, I've picked up a pretty good bullshit detector. And I can pretty well tell by a person's actions whether or not I'm being bullshitted. Now, I can't write a story based on my feelings like McCain does. But I do, when my eyebrows, perk up, I do dig a little deeper. In the case of Stranahan, for instance, there's all these stories that have been established that he's a deadbeat. And that's not me saying it. That's his associates saying it. There's all these stories about his pornography. That's not me. That's him bragging about his pornography. There's all these websites that he used to own, that he admits that he owned, that offers his wife's holiest of holies for sale to in studio.
Well,
no, it does. Does. It says if you want a 2-hour session with Lauren in the studio, it's $299. If you want Lauren to deliver the print, let me finish. If you want Lauren to deliver the prints, it's $650 for it takes 2 hours to deliver a print. What? And the story about the dead baby. Are you seriously telling me? No. Are you serious?
Time out. No. Save that for your show, buddy.
All right, I'm going to do that right now. Are you seriously telling me that go ahead and mute me. Go ahead and mute me because I'm talking. Go ahead and mute me.
He told me to mute him, folks.
Go ahead and mute him.
He wants to talk about.
If you want to say that
stillborn baby, we're not going to talk about that on my show.
We are.
We are. I let him just say a bunch of stuff and slander stuff about Lee Stranahan, and I'm not Lee Stranahan. And it's funny that Bill Smallfield doesn't want to talk about himself.
I'm not
Ali Akbar. He doesn't want to talk about the facts that have been presented to him on the show, which deeply bothers me because I want to like this guy. I mean, you guys can tell that I have him on the show, and I've given him most of the time. I want to like this guy. I have a ton of liberal friends. I have a lot of liberal friends who have
friends
and tweeted.
You have people who hang on to you because there's money in it
dealing
for
with this horrible bullshit. Okay, this is bullshit that I'm dealing with. 17 months of this coordinated harassment campaign by Brett Kimberlin, Bill Smallfield, Neil Rauhauser, and some other pedophiles like Craig Richard Gillette. You should Google that name. But anyway, I'm going to try to unmute him. We're not talking about a stillborn baby on my show. This is still the Ali Akbar show. He'll talk about it on his show. He has said that he's going to use all of this audio without my express permission.
Well, it's because I'm part of the show.
Rebroadcast on his
I can do whatever I want.
It's just another copyright violation that we get to and chalk up. But I'm going to unmute him and see if I can ask him another question. Are we ready?
If I'm able to continue.
Okay. What do you think about Brett Kimberlin cheating the widow?
Why are we asking me about Brett Kimberlin if I'm not allowed to talk about Stranahan?
No, you're totally.
Why are you asking me about Brett Kimberlin when I am not Brett Kimberlin?
Hey, my friend, you talked about Lee Stranahan for my timer says 1 minute and a half. You talked about McCain for over 5 minutes. You talked about Hogan. You talked about Aaron. There's nothing wrong with talking about people that we're associated with.
Except when you mute me for doing it.
As a Christian, are you bothered at all that unrepentant domestic terrorist bomber, and he's accused of a lot of, and I'm not going to say him on the air.
No, you said it on your blog. You called him a pedophile. You called me a pedophile.
Do you think Brett Kimberlin's a pedophile?
No.
You want to bring that up?
No.
Do you find it strange? Do you find it strange that so many journalists do?
No. I find it strange that
I don't find it strange either. I don't find it strange.
I find it strange that they all have. I find it strange that they all happen to be right-wing hacks.
I don't find it strange that a bunch of journalists
right-wing hacks
that Brett Kimberlin's a pedophile with the Indianapolis Star. Mark
the Indianapolis Star,
and a number
which is
of
owned by Dan Quayle's father.
I don't think it's strange. I don't think it's strange when his wife said it either. And so those are the conclusions some people have come to. That Brett Kimberlin is a pedophile. I'm glad that Bill Smallfield brought it up. I was trying to not bring it up because I thought it would just not be germane, but I'm going to unmute Stacy McCain, who's back on the show, and we're going to give Bill Smallfield a chance to grab a glass of water. How are you, my friend?
Wow. God. When Bill Smallfield said, I had to look it up, how many times he's accused me of fraud, saying I never moved out of Maryland. And you know that that's a lie.
Yeah.
And there is no basis for it. And and this claim that he's doing an investigation. Since when is where I live any part of Bill Smallfield's business? What he is trying to do, Ali, and he's doing it for Brett Kimberlin. There can be no doubt about that. He's trying to make me the story. Well, this is not a story about me. It's not a story about you. It's a story about Brett Kimberlin. And because Bill Smallfield loves bombing perjurers, he can't stand that. He can't stand the fact that the guy who hired him a lawyer in his legal battle with John Hogue, he admits, right, that Kimberlin paid for his lawyer.
No, yeah.
Right.
Did I admit that?
And I'm old enough to remember when they denied association until we caught them. I don't realize how long this has gone. But what do you think of how am I doing? Let's talk about me and what a failure fellow I am.
Let's talk about me. Enough about you. Let's talk about me.
Well,
there's this bizarre. This bizarre claim that being a publisher, being an activist, being what is it you do, Ollie? Because people have asked you that, but that being a consultant in all the things that you do or I do, or something, that there's a scam. This is a fraud, and he's going to expose it because he's an investigative journalist. Nobody cares, Bill. Who is Jerry Fletcher? What a bizarre thing. Leroy Snyder?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, I'm on the phone, and suddenly I'm asked, I just got an email from Leroy Snyder. Right. And I'm like, okay, who is Leroy Snyder?
Well, time out. But what's funny, and I'm going to unmute Bill in a second because he's been muted for 3 minutes and 28 seconds, is what's funny is before I got onto the podcast, someone said, oh, if he's an investigative journalist. And this is a premise I entirely reject. I didn't even want to get into journalism talk because it's so ridiculous, even ceding that hallowed ground to him. But he said, why has he never printed a retraction? And I said, huh. And it's funny because I'm the son of a lawyer. The person I was talking to is related to a lawyer. And what we know, and I don't know if all journalists, their editors sure know it, is you are required by law. By law. If you're a journalist covered by the SHIELD law, if you want those protections to extend further than, the SHIELD law that extends further for journalists and extends for the ordinary citizen, you have to print corrections and retractions. And this Karl Rove stuff, never. Blog Bash stuff, never. You notice how they went from nonprofit to C3 Talk? Why is that? Why did they chop off my incorporation papers trying to swat my mother's address that says articles of incorporation for a nonprofit? Could it be that this was all to harass us? But anyway, I gotta unmute Bill. So you guys stay on, Stace, okay?
Okay.
All right, Bill, I'm unmuting you. Stacy, do you have a question for Bill Smallfield? We only have 16 minutes left, guys.
I've got no questions for Bill Smallfield, except have you no shame, sir?
Why are you scared of me, McCain?
Why are you asking?
Because you are a disturbed freak.
Tell me about your psychological training. Tell me about the numerous times you've interviewed me, McCain.
Okay, can I switch this up then? I'll ask you both the same question. How is your relationship with your children, Stacy? Your 6 children?
What does that have to do with?
They're wonderful. As a matter of fact,
can we ask them? Can we ask them?
No, you sick fuck.
Why do you want to talk to my children,
Why
Bill?
do you guys keep talking to my? Why do you guys keep bringing up my kids?
I've never brought up your kids.
How are your kids,
sack
Bill?
of shit.
How are your kids, Bill?
My kids are fine.
Okay, how's their relationship with you?
Distant.
Okay, all right. Well, how's your relationship with McCain? How's your relationship with your kids? In one word.
Wonderful.
Okay. Yeah. When's the last time they called you, Stacy?
Well, today.
Okay. Smallfield. When's the last time your kids called you?
Are we talking issues, or are we? Is this a smear attack?
All right. We'll get back to it.
It's smear attack. This is all just a smear attack now. This is what I volunteered
for.
You're right.
Wait a minute. Bill Smallfield just accused someone else of a smear attack?
That's all you do, McCain, you lying hack. You're a lying hack, McCain. You do whatever you're told to do. You haven't been a journalist since you went to work for Akbar, McCain. There was once a time where your name was respected. Not anymore. Not anymore, McCain. Outside of the right wing circle, you're just a hack. You're a lying hack that nobody takes seriously.
Bill.
Yeah?
Bill, you get to ask us both the question. Go. You get to ask us both the question. Go.
What are you going to say to Andrew Breitbart when you get to hell?
You stay classy, Bill Smallfield.
Oh, you're the one to talk about class, McCain.
Bill, are all Republicans going to hell?
No.
Okay, just curious because it seems to be a running theme on your pod.
I don't believe in hell, actually.
Okay, so
there you go.
How are we going to talk to Andrew when we get to this place you don't believe in?
Because
or was that a smear attack?
You just wanted to talk about my kids. You just wanted to talk about my kids and my relationship with my kids.
So, Stacy, was that a smear attack then? If he doesn't believe in the place he asked us to comment on?
God.
I'm a national debater. I'm sorry. My high school skills are coming out. My felon, decrepit, diseased old ass. I'm about. All right. So, you have another question for us, Smallfield? A serious one, and it's the one that you pleaded.
I'm sorry.
You have a question for
you or for McCain?
Well, both of us. Just ask us the same question. We'll both answer it.
How do you fucking sleep at night, knowing that you both lie so easily?
This is how I sleep at night. I don't sleep well. I actually wake up in the middle of the night because I slept.
Guilt attacks? Panic attacks? What?
No. Yes, I have anxiety attacks. My doctor's going to be able to establish
attacks.
Yeah, I know. My doctor's going to be able to establish that. Well, come on. You have a whole show where you get to talk over us on this. So my doctor's going to be able to establish that due to your harassment and your death threats that I'm able to sleep, that I have had to sleep with weapons inside of my house, that I am fearful that your associate and excellent friend, that's how you described him, the bomber who killed and maimed people in Speedway, Indiana, this guy that you love and financially benefit from, I think that my doctor is going to be able to establish that my sleepless nights, you so enjoy me having, well, there's a reason. And the judge is going to be able to render a judgment off that.
Well, actually, I don't think there's going to be any judgments because you're... No, let me talk.
No,
there's only a few minutes left. There's only a few minutes left in the show.
No, you're right. See, Stacy, this is the problem. He never remembers the rules. A minute ago, I said you have to ask the same question for both of us. That means that you also get to answer. He wanted to say, we sleep like babies. But he got to hear the truth. And what did he do when he was presented with my suffering, Stacy?
He mocked it.
Yeah, and oh my God, the judge is going to love this audio. Hi, Your Honor, in Texas, please render this default judgment for the guy who didn't travel here. But how do you sleep? Get on to the next question.
How do you know I'm not going to travel there? How do you know I'm not going to travel there?
What I did, listeners, was establish how much smarter I am than him. Go ahead.
Well, I sleep my usual 6-7 hours at night. That's one of my secrets is that I don't require much sleep. Is that I can work I got used to sometimes 20-hour days, 30-hour days once to hit a deadline. So I've been skipping sleep forever. As from our travels, we crash out at 11 o'clock, and and I'd be up and around going to get breakfast at 6:30.
Yeah, and he types while I'm sleeping. All right, Bill, your next question for both of us.
Okay. Look behind you. And that's where I hung up. It's an old family joke. When my twin brother and I would make phone calls to each other from time to time, one or the other of us would say, "Hey, what's that behind you?" and then hang up. These idiots. Now, since the airing of this program, they've been really, really busy spinning their story on Twitter. Let me see if I can share some of these with you. Allie said 17 minutes ago, most live listeners ever today. Well, since 2009. And then somebody said, Akbar says, what's sad is that I gave Bill everything he's asked for and he couldn't even apologize. I have nothing to apologize for. McCain, the risible Stacy McCain says, 2 hours of evidence that Bill Schmalfeld is a disturbed freak, as if more evidence were needed. Let's see. Michael Lawson says it's definitely harassment. He acts like a child. His behavior is that of a bully pulling a girl's hair and blaming her. Akbar says it was sick, so sick, but evidence. As if he had any case against me. Anyway, somebody says, Akbar says, thank you for listening to my 2-hour podcast with my deranged cyberstalker. I am the deranged cyberstalker. They write about me all day long, but I'm the deranged cyberstalker. McCain says, Schmalfeld's appearance on your show proved what a sick freak he is. Akbar says, I've handed the microphone to deranged cyberstalker Schmalfeld to ask me the questions. But you'll notice, if you remember, that he kept cutting me off. Anyway. Oh, my. They ought to call it the Ali Akbar R.S. McCain Comedy Show. But I apologize for how much they rambled on while having me on mute. But that's pretty much how I figured things were going to go. Every time he got himself boxed into a corner and couldn't wiggle his way out, right away it was with the time out. And he'd throw me on hold and put me on mute, and I wasn't allowed to say what I was saying, which is why I'm glad I have my own recording of it, so you can judge for yourself, gentle listener, of how well I acquitted myself. Anyway, there you have it. That's my Ali Akbar radio experience, and let me tell you something. It was a fun time. Tell your friends. This will be repeating overnight and into the morning, and we'll resume regular programming probably around 8 a.m. But I just felt like you should hear what really happened.